again!
Good. Yes, people, another edition of Knightz and a Round Table discussion where we discuss all sports all the time. Got my guy Tooth with me. How you doing, sir?
What's good, brother? How are you, man?
Same old shit, different day, man. You know how it is. Yes, before we start, make sure you like and subscribe on the channel. More and more content is coming out all the time. And as you can see by the background, we're talking UFC. We haven't done one in a little while, but we thought with the two main events that went on this past Saturday, we had to get this in. UFC 253 main event, Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. Co-main event was Reyes versus Yan. We're going to start off with the main event, Israel and Paulo Costa.
Yes.
Israel winning in the second round, TKO. Tooth, talk to me, bro. How did you find the fight? And was it what you expected?
First things first, man. I need all you people to comment out there because this is going to be a controversial one, bruv. Do you know what I mean? I know we've been putting out a lot of NBA cackness out there, man. Fuck all that shit. I'm glad that we're talking about fights again. Boy, I can't even describe how ecstatic I am to fucking be on this right now, man. So I need all you people to comment because this is going to rub some of you the wrong way. The Truth bailed because he was shook. He didn't want me to smoke. WhatsApp group last night. Do you know what I mean? Oh, yeah, I'm ready for the... Nah, you ain't ready, fam. You ain't ready, bruv. When the war horn sounded, you went, where are you, bruv? Where are you, bruv? I'll call it all you man out, bruv. I don't even care if my horse in the race lost, bruv. You know them ways there, bruv. I'm on it. But yeah, just to answer your question, bruv, completely shocked with the result. Obviously, I had money on Costa. I thought he was a big, strong, powerful guy, pressure fighter, you know, good chin, sparking out everyone in the middleweight division. But he just wasn't game. Do you know what I mean? He just didn't have the experience. When he got in there, he froze. He just stood in front of Israel, which is the last thing that you want to do against a fighter like Israel. And he just got torn apart. Israel put on a masterclass. But that's enough of me hugging on Israel's nuts. And this is the part where everyone needs to get their fucking feelings hurt, bruv. You know
Wait, before you jump into that, let's just put some context to what actually happened on fight night. Israel, it was a masterclass, deconstructed him, took out his legs, went for the front legs, completely just annihilated the legs, and then second round did some more, caught him on head kick, which scrambled him. Then didn't he catch him on the side of the head as well before he went down?
Bruv, he caught him with the same punch, if I'm not mistaken, or the same flurry that he knocked out Whitaker with. It was almost deja vu. If you remember the Whitaker knockout, he got in on the inside and threw that short left hook. Bruv, it was literally like when I saw that knockout, my head just went back to the Whitaker fight. Like, damn, he hit him with the same punch, like crazy. Complete masterclass, bruv. Complete, like, martial artist as well. Like he had a game plan. He knew what he was doing. He came in, as you said, he took out the front leg, so he took off the wheels that Costa was running on and just picked them apart from there. That head kick was vicious. Again, scrambled him. After that, he was legless, bruv. He was like a fucking Essex chick on a night out in COVID, bruv.
Oh, my chest. I can't breathe. Oh, shit. My chest is going.
Legless, bruv. And then all, do you know them ones, bruv? And then, bruv, he hit him, like, got him on the inside and just, do you know what I mean? That left hook, dirty left hook, clipped him. And then after that, it was all she wrote, bruv. Yeah, complete masterclass. And bruv, this is what people forget, man. Like I'm all for Israel style, bruv. You've seen, like, you know, you've seen the little clips I put on the WhatsApp group, bruv. Like the way I fight, well, even though I don't fight, but you know, my style, if I had to fight, would be that stand-up, crisp stand-up, fancy kicks, fancy footwork. Do you know what I mean? Like traditional stand-up martial artist, karate background, Muay Thai kind of style, kickboxing style, with all the flashy kicks in the world. But I'm not going to sit here and deny that that style doesn't have a weakness, just like every style in fighting has a weakness.
Of course.
And the main weakness to that style is something that Costa presents, which is that forward pressure, powerful, good chin, kind of adversary. Do you know what I mean? That's always kind of traditionally been able to nullify the guy that's got the fancy kicks and the fancy footwork. On that night, it just didn't work out for Costa. Now,
do you know why? Why didn't it?
Well, bruv, personally, I think, and I predicted this on the WhatsApp group, the fight could have taken it could have ended in many different ways. But one of the ways that I did mention was that Israel might come out early and catch Costa cold. And again, I'm waiting for the comments. Do you know what I mean? I want all you hating motherfuckers to fucking write some shit. But that's my personal opinion. And that is a personal opinion, again, based on my own experience in combat sports, but also fights that I've seen, a huge array, a huge catalogue of fights that I've seen occur in the past, where sometimes you just come out, you start quick, and you catch the other guy cold. And the reason I say that is because Costa did fuck all. He did fuck all. He didn't do shit. There's not one significant moment in the fight that I remember Costa ever like doing anything.
I don't remember him doing anything at all in the fight. He just took a beating.
Bro, literally, he just took a beating and he taunted Israel to come forward. Now, again, this is where I'm going to be a bit critical, all right? This is where I get my full martial arts analysis hat on, bro. And this ain't no Skip Bayless or fucking Stephen A. Smith trolling nonsense. This is some real talk, bro. Now, Israel, first round, had a game plan, which was dismantle the lead leg of Costa. And it looked like shades of fucking Yoel Romero fight, bruv, where he's going to kick his legs, run around the cage, kick his legs, run around the cage. And that's all he done. Now, the first rule in a fight, especially if someone's kicking your leg, is that you retaliate with a leg kick, or you hit them with, so if you're a southpaw, you hit them with your right hand. Or if you're an orthodox, you hit him with your left hand, because that part of the body is open for a strike. Because when you throw a leg kick, you've kind of opened whatever counter side of your body up for a strike. Costa didn't do that. So we didn't throw the counter straight or the counter hook to let Adesanya know, like, look, these leg kicks are not on. Do you know what? Every time you throw a leg kick, you're going to get punished. Or he didn't do the other tactic, which is every time you throw a leg kick, you throw one back, which is the classic Muay Thai style. If you've ever watched Muay Thai fights, bruv, you're not getting away with leg kicks, bruv. If someone throws a leg kick, you check it. If you don't check it, you throw fucking one back. Like, there's no way you're allowing someone to kick your legs. Costa didn't do that at all. Second round came, and again, just stood in front of him, got head kicked, and then after that, it was all she wrote. And this is what I mean in terms of him getting caught cold. He didn't do shit. He did not do shit. I don't know what he was waiting for. If he was thinking Adesanya was just going to stand in front of him and let him hit him, he had another thing coming.
If he thought that, he certainly didn't watch the Yoel Romero fight. If he thought that was going to happen.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, Costa even predicted this, man. Costa even like made like little skits and little videos, and all his interviews, he was saying, look, Adesanya's going to run. He's going to run. And that's exactly what he did in the first round. He ran, he kicked his legs, ran, kicked his legs. Second round, he caught an opening and took care of it. Bruv, what is the score, by the way, the Chelsea Spurs score?
It's 1-0 to Chelsea.
Chelsea? Oh, fuck, I want Frank to get back.
So your unpopular opinion, go for it, bro. Let's hear it.
Yeah, by far, very unpopular, man. I'm waiting for all you motherfuckers to comment on this shit. But again, I thought Costa got caught cold, and looking at what Costa's done in the past, that's what I'm basing my opinion off, because all his other fights, he's just charged his opponents down and fucked them up. Do you know what I mean? He fucked up Johnny Hendricks, charged him down, fucked him up. But then again, Johnny Hendricks ain't shit. Uriah Hall, who's similar style to Adesanya, you know, fancy footwork, fancy kicks, a real decorated stand-up fighter, charged him down, fucked him up. And even Yoel Romero, brother, despite me thinking Yoel won that fight.
Yeah, because it was close.
It was very close, brother.
I thought Yoel won that as well.
Bro, I put that fight, I put money on Yoel to win. And that was the only fight on the whole card that I lost because of that fight, bro. One of my close friends was actually in the arena for that fight. Okay. And he said the whole crowd were booing that decision. Everyone thought it was a robbery. I don't think it was, because, you know, us, like, we look at fights. If it's close and your horse in the race don't win, we don't call that a robbery. Like, it's a close fight. It could have gone either way. But again, Costa charged, like, do you know what I mean? He went for him, bruv. He stood in front of him, went for him, charged him down, put tons of pressure on him, and he went blow for blow with Mero, bruv. So it is what it is. In this fight, it was
a complete contrast to the Israel Romero fight.
Complete contrast, bruv. And I just don't think he showed up on that night for whatever reason. He just got caught cold, and that's my 2 cents, bruv. Anyone can say anything. I wish the truth was here so I can put him in his fucking place, but it is what it is. All you people watching this, comment, bruv. I don't give a fuck what you comment, but comment. Do you know what I mean? I'm here to give you that real shit, that controversial shit. And overall, just to put the icing on the cake here, just to go even more controversial, bruv. It was a shit fight, bruv. It was a shit fight. In my opinion, nothing happened in that fight. He just stood there like a punching bag, and he just got fucking taken apart, bruv. Masterclass by Israel, but in terms of what I was expecting, it wasn't that fight that, you know, it wasn't like no fight of the year fucking candidate where both people came out and it was a war. It was just one dude completely fucked up the other dude. Everyone went home. And
do you think that Israel got in his head, and that's why he froze on the big night?
Nah, man. Nah, because Costa's reaction to all those mind games and all that shit was like not like of someone that we see breaking. Quite frankly, Costa seemed like a very humble guy. He seems like a very honest guy. I don't know why he gets all this hate, but you know, he seems like a very, very like cool dude. Do you get what I mean? And he's got broken English, so he can't understand half this shit people are saying.
Yeah, so obviously Israel won the fight. After the fight, he then called out, is it Cannonier? Is that
yeah,
Cannonier, who's due to fight Whitaker. Is that on the next card? Is that on the Khabib undercard?
No. I don't think that. I think if I'm not mistaken, that's going to be a main event of its own, but I'm not sure when. Yeah, Cannonier, my boy, the killer gorilla, bruv. Watch this space. He's a problem, bruv. He is a problem.
Israel called him out, said he's a nice guy, he deserves a shot, said that he hopes he beats Robert Whitaker. Yeah. If that does happen, because I don't think anyone really wants to see Israel Whitaker again. I know Whitaker would want it because he wants to try and avenge a loss, but I don't think no one wants to see that. But if we do get Israel Cannonier, and Israel then wins that fight, what's next? Don't just one person in particular, but we're not going to do that because I'm going to mention him later on. But what is next for Israel if he then beats Cannonier, considering that the middleweight division hasn't got that depth?
Yeah, for sure. Well, first things first, Robert Whitaker has to Cannonier has to beat Robert Whitaker first. Yeah. Now we're going into like MMA sort of predictions and mathematics and hypotheses and shit like that. But if we were just talking about like Israel versus Cannonier right now, if they were to fight on the next card, for example, again, I said this on the WhatsApp group, I'll say it here. Israel, I'm not gonna lie, Israel is the favorite. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But if Cannonier shows up, he can be a fucking problem. Now, this guy fought at heavyweight and he fought at light heavyweight, and now he's finally made this home at middleweight. He's had 3 fights at middleweight. All 3 of them have been knockouts. The last one was actually against a somewhat credible opponent against Jack Hermanson, who's I think top 5, top 10 middleweight, and he knocked him out pretty nicely. And Jack Hermanson was on a good run as well. He was doing his thing. So Cannonier is, again, he's like, in terms of style, he's similar to Costa. Big, powerful, strong, good chin, knockout power, will pressure people, won't give people that time, that space. But who's to say Israel won't pick him apart? Because Israel definitely has more tools in his toolbox. You know, definitely has more weapons in his arsenal to take care of someone like Cannonier. Again, the middleweight division is pretty shallow at the moment. The fact that he just blew through Costa like that is kind of like, oh, well, in my eyes, you've already cleared out the division because you beat Romero, even though it was whatever. You beat Romero, you beat Costa, you beat Whitaker, and you've been on this insane run. I think it's less than 2 years or a year and a half, and you're already champ, and you've taken out a lot of people. And the reason why I say Cannonier is a problem, bruv, is because the fighters that Israel has struggled against have been those guys. And this is why I thought Costa would cause a problem for Israel. So when Israel fought Marvin Vettori in one of his early fights, if not his debut fight for the UFC, Marvin Vettori, again, pressure fighter, moving forward, good chin, powerful. That fight went to split decision. When Israel fought Mero, we saw that fight. He wasn't comfortable. He was running in that fight. The whole fight, just leg kicks and running. When he fought Kelvin Gastelum, you saw Israel's face at the end of the fight. It was like a fucking balloon, bro. And Costa, that's why I put money on Costa. I thought he could cause a problem for Israel. And like I said earlier about styles make fights, his style, the kryptonite to that style is someone big, powerful, pressure, come forward, don't give you the time or the space to do your fancy footwork or your fancy shit. Cannonier, again, will, if he's able to show up on the night, he can definitely win that fight for sure. Israel's been knocked out in his kickboxing career. All right, he's been sparked out cold. I can't remember the guy's name. It was a Brazilian dude called Pereira, I think, and that guy wasn't even technically sound. You know what I mean? He wasn't like anything special. He was just your typical textbook power punching, forward moving kickboxer. And Cannonier is definitely better than that. And so is Costa, so is Romero, so is Gastelum, and so is Marvin Vettori. But these guys all fell short. So that's why I think Israel's favorite. But he does possess the style to cause Israel a problem, a huge problem. Whether that happens, we're yet to see. In terms of who else is left in the middleweight division, I mean, all we have to do is look at the rising star right now, bruv. Hamzat Chimaev, bruv, the truth boy, my boy, your boy. He's making fucking serious waves, but he's not even in the top 15 yet. So it's going to be a while.
He's not ready yet. Yeah, it's going to take time for him.
It's going to be a while.
I honestly, I don't see that fight happening. I think if Israel beats Cannonier, I think Israel will go up to light heavyweight, which segues into the next name that Israel's been shouting about. Mr. You know my guy, the GOAT,
our boy,
Mr. Bones Jones. I think everyone thinks it's farcical. No one actually believes that this fight will happen, and I think Israel will be stupid to let it happen, because I think Bones would just unless he does it in like 5 year time when Bones is like 65 years old or something like that. But Bones right now would absolutely crucify him. But just for, listen, at the end of the day, they need to build their numbers up, get more fans. What do you think about it, just as a fantasy fight? Because I don't think it's realistic.
Yeah, and you nailed it on the head. For now, it is just a fantasy fight. Bones has gone up to heavyweight, and I think even in his last tweet, or along those tweets where he was calling out Israel, he even said like, hey, I want to go back down to light heavyweight to get my title back off Jan, which we'll get into a little bit later on. But Jones right now is just too big. Again, our boy, I love Jones, despite all the fucking roid controversy and all that shit, which I will get into about Israel. Don't think I forgot. Don't think I forgot truth. I know you ain't here, fam.
That was going to be the last point.
But yeah, we'll get into the puffy right tip, bruv. Don't get it twisted, bruv. We're gonna break that down as well, bruv. Because you know what? We're all sports all the time. Whatever the fucking intro is, bruv. You get me? Trust me, bruv. We leave no stone unturned, bruv. Do you get me? We'll get into the puffy right tip. But as of now, Jones has gone up to heavyweight, and I find it a bit silly that he called out the smaller man. But let's not get it twisted. People think, again, the truth thinks that Jones started the beef. He did not start the beef, bruv.
No, he didn't.
He was asked in an interview, does he see himself fighting Israel, or some question that led on to him saying, yeah, I see myself fighting Israel. That was it. That is probably the nicest call out you'll ever get in fucking MMA. And quite frankly, I think that's a very respectable way of acknowledging someone's skills. You being the fucking GOAT, and you're like, you know what? I recognize this kid on the sideline tearing shit up, man. I can see myself fighting, dude. Do you know what I mean? My man, the estrogen filled Israel, and again, we'll get into that estrogen shit, that puffy right tip, yeah? His response was fucking, oh, I've already killed one GOAT. It's like, mate, you fought Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva, bro, was 105, bro.
Exactly. And even in that fight, you still didn't finish Anderson Silva. You were still running around, and you know, it's like, come on, bruv. Like, you killed one GOAT, cool, whatever. It looks good on paper, but people who know and watch this shit know, like, you know what, man, like, that's 107-year-old Anderson Silva that's coming off like a 48 fight losing streak. Like, bruv, take it easy, bruv. Humble yourself. And the fact that you responded to Jones in such a fucking manner, it is like, dude, do you know what Jones has done in this game? Do you know what I mean? Do you know how many title defenses my man has got? Do you know how long he's been at the top of the game for? Do you know who he's cleared out? Again, regardless of all the Royd controversy and shit, like, bruv, just, you're not on his level. You're not on his level, point blank, period.
Well, he was asked again in his post-match press conference about Jones, and he says he will fuck Jones up. And I'm just like, bro, are you serious? Like what's wrong with you? Like, John Jones, bro, we're talking about the GOAT here. We're talking about the guy, yeah, that, bro, he barely trains. Man beat up DC after going out the night before on coke and all the rest of it, bro. Exactly. Like, exactly. This guy was beating guys like Rashad Evans, all them man there, Gustafsson, all them man there with barely training, bro. Right. And you're there trying to call out. And one thing that you can't say about Bones, he's never, ever, ever run in the octagon. No. He's never kicked and run in the octagon. No. Yes, his last couple fights haven't looked great, and I put that down to the fact that, like, come on, let's be serious. Like, these guys ain't challenged. Like challenge. It's not a challenge. Whereas I think he will come true in the heavyweight division because it's genuine fear and it's genuine one punch and you're out. You know what I mean? I know.
This is the guy, yeah. John Jones is the guy that said, I will relinquish my light heavyweight belt because they're not letting me fight Ngannou. They're not letting me fight Ngannou, so fuck the UFC, fuck my belt. And you're talking about breadstick Israel over here, bro. Do you know what I mean? Puppy right tit over here. Bruv, come on, man. The truth.
Just before you lot get it twisted, I am an Israel fan, but John Jones is my guy, and you got to recognize levels. Like, Israel, don't get me wrong, his rise from where he was to becoming a champion is excellent. Jones is still the youngest champion ever in UFC, though, isn't it? Yeah. Jones is still the youngest champion in UFC. You're not there yet. Just relax.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Again, take on.
Like, bro, like the point being is, like, again, like, just to circle back round, like, we're having this discussion, and it's kind of like, it's silly because one's a heavyweight and one's a middleweight, and all right, you know what, if they were both the same size, then it could be whoever fight, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, we can't deny Izzy's ability. Like, his ability is levels, bro. He's got levels. But look, the sheer size of Jones, and we're not only going off size, we're going off his ability as well. As you said, he is the GOAT. We'll fuck him up, bro. No doubt about it, man. I have no, like, questions about that fight happening at the moment because it's not happening. Do you know what I
it's
mean?
not happening.
They're trying to
They
figure
both
out
got.
something for Jones at heavyweight, but it's a good little narrative to have to build up to maybe later down the line if Izzy goes up to light heavyweight and Jones drops back down. Cool, but it's not no immediate future thing. And as you said, it could be happening 5 years from now. Who knows? The seeds have definitely been planted. And as I said, Izzy started the beef with that whole disrespectful way of coming at Jones, talking about I've already killed one goat. That you know what I mean? Like that warrants Jones coming after you.
Of course,
You know
of course. And Bones ain't gonna back down from that. But on the last point of Izzy, I know you want to talk about the puffy right peck. Go for it. I'm just gonna let you have the floor.
Bruv, listen, man, and listen to the viewers that don't know this. Look, I might sound a bit fucking illiterate sometimes and a bit fucking road, but look, I'm your resident medic out here, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Like the boys will vouch for this, bruv. Do you know
of
what
course.
I mean? And just to give you some context, yeah, about this fight. So Costa and Israel, people were going at Costa because they were like, oh, you know what? He's a drug head, he's a ped head, he's this and that. Izzy single-handedly slandered my man's fucking reputation by going at him for drug use. Yeah. Now that to me is probably the biggest insult that you can give another professional martial artist, especially if they haven't failed the drug test for juicing. I understand it was a way of him getting in his head. It was a way of him for promoting a fight, but we need to look, the devil's in the detail. We need to discuss facts here. Now, Costa, again, just this is some pretext, yeah. Costa, because the truth was going at it on the WhatsApp group, and I said I'll fucking crush him on this, bro, and I will. And this is for all you people in the comments. So I want to see those comments, bro. I want to see the hate. Bring me all the hate, bro. And you know what? Bring me your evidence as well, because this is where facts, like there's a fine line between facts and opinion. That this is where we diverge, bro. So Costa, yes, has been flagged and banned by USADA for 6 months. But what was he banned for? He was banned for IV hydration, yeah, after the weigh-in. IV hydration is not performance enhancing drugs. Now, again, I'm not going to snowball into something else, but people have used IVs to clear out PEDs in their system. You know, there's many ways to clear out PEDs in your system. But again, the devil is in the detail. He was, the only reason he got caught for using IV was someone in his camp Snapchatted this because they had like some beef or whatever, and he exposed Costa for cheating for using IV hydration, which is banned in the UFC. But he took the IV after the weigh-in. Now you get tested before you even step on the scales for the weigh-in. So if he didn't fail his pre-fight drug test, which is before the weigh-in, it makes no sense for him to go on IV to clear the drugs out of his system. Now, for all you dumb motherfuckers out there, let me break this shit down for you, bro. Yeah? You don't look at the answers to a test after you've taken the fucking test, do you? You look at the answers for a test before you take the test on some Luis Suarez shit trying to get citizenship in Italy, bro. You know them way there, bro. You don't do it after the test. What use is that for you? Do you know what I mean? You've already taken the test and now you're looking at the answers. That serves no fucking purpose for you. Yeah? You look at the answers for a test before you go take the exam so you fucking pass the test. Now, same principles apply here. Costa passed his drug test and then he went on the IV, which for me just signifies he needed to rehydrate. Because what is the point of him clearing PEDs in his system where he's already taken the fucking drug test? Makes no sense. So the devil is in the detail, and he got banned 6 months for using IV hydration. Facts. He cheated, but it's not performance enhancing drugs. Now, people might pull up images of him looking big, bulky, whatever. Bruv, some people are genetic freaks, all right? We just have to accept it. I look at Ngannou and think, how the fuck is a heavyweight that chiseled and ripped without being on PEDs, when traditionally, when we look at heavyweights that are chiseled and ripped, have all been on the juice? Overeem, Brock Lesnar, you know what I mean? The list goes on. Whereas Ngannou in this USADA era is chiseled and ripped, and he's not on drugs. We know he's not on pets. He's just a genetic freak that is committed to the craft. And I believe if me or you, if 5 years straight, we're doing 1,000 push-ups and 1,000 sit-ups every day, we're going to look like that, bruv. Just look at some of the man them in pen, bruv. That's all they do is fucking work out, and they come out, boom. You get me? They're not getting no fucking needles in their ass. They ain't getting no testosterone, no stanozol. They ain't getting no EPO in fucking gel. Maybe some of them are, but we know a majority of the time, like, do you get what I mean? It's just dedication and commitment to the craft. And if you spend that much time doing it, you will look like that, period. So it could be genetics, and it could be just commitment to his craft. Now, don't get me wrong. As I said earlier, there are ways of bypassing this shit, which we'll do another interview for. If you want to talk about performance enhancing drugs, leave a fucking comment. We'll do another podcast on it, bruv. We'll go deep on it, bruv. But that's Costa aside, just to give you some pretext. So Izzy rode that till the fucking cows came home, bruv. He was accusing my man of being a juice head, this, that, and the third. Till now, Costa has not failed a drug test for performance enhancing drugs. The USADA is the gold standard, and that's what we have to go by. I don't believe none of y'all fucking eyeballs. Your eyeball test does not warrant him being a drug head or a ped head or someone that juices. Do you know what I mean? If I go on the street and say, yo, bruv, you look like a rapist. Do you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't warrant him, like, your eyeballs. I don't give a fuck, but I want to see some gold standard testing, and USADA is gold standard testing. These people, it's not like boxing. They have year-round testing. Do you get what I mean? So that means even when they're not fighting, they get random drug tested. They can pull up at any time, anywhere in the world. You have to let them know your location at all times so they can come test you. Do you get me? And then also they do stringent pre-test, pre-fight tests and stringent post-fight tests. So my man's been clean. He's never been caught for juice at all in his career. That aside, Izzy comes out with a puffy right tip, bro. You get what I mean? What is that all about, bro? Do you get what I mean? I heard some people say it's a pec tear. I heard other man them say, oh, he's got damage to that area. And then even when he was asked about it, he didn't really directly give us no answer, bro. In his post-fight interview, man said, why are they looking at my tip? Bro, why is your tip looking like that? You get what I mean, bro? Give us a fucking answer, bro. Now, anyone that knows anything about, you know, juicing will tell you one of the side effects is gynecomastia, which means you get puffy tits. You see it a lot in bodybuilders that have retired. But also, if you're interested, all you have to do is go on Google and type in unilateral gynecomastia in anabolic steroid use. Yeah, unilateral gynecomastia, anabolic steroid use. I posted this on the WhatsApp group. This is a PubMed documentation. Yeah, PubMed, again, gold standard for medical research. Yeah, and medical papers and journals, bro. Yeah, your resident medic is spitting some fucking facts here. Now, I'm not saying that puffy tip is because of drug use, but I'm saying let's add up the dots. And I have my suspicions, and I'm right to have my suspicions. There was no explanation for why he has a right puffy tip. All right. Gynecomastia, yeah, is associated with, and gynecomastia is basically puffy tits, for those that don't know. Gynecomastia is basically associated with an imbalance of hormones, all right? When you have more estrogen than you have testosterone. Estrogen is, you know, the female hormone. Testosterone is the male hormone. Estrogen, female, titties, all right? It makes sense. But furthermore, it also gives a lot of explanation to why Israel's such a bitch. Do you know what I mean? With this fucking female-induced kind of rants and the way he goes about carrying himself is very...
No.
But anyway, I'll hold my tongue, bro, before I get burnt, bro. But my point being is, John Jones pointed it out. A number of other fighters pointed it out. Nate Diaz's coach pointed it out. And Nate Diaz's coach will know a thing or two about fucking drug testing and failed drug tests, or even juicing, because Gilbert Melendez got popped for drugs. Jake Shields got popped for drugs, and people might not acknowledge it. And Nate Diaz is my boy. As much as he is my boy, he also got popped before the Jorge Masvidal fight as well. Remember when they were about to cancel the fight, and then you saw they done some John Jones shit where they kind of swept it under the rug and there was no explanation or nothing. So my man would know a thing or two about drugs. Your boy here would know a thing or two about, you know, performance enhancing drugs. So all I'm saying is like, this shit don't add up. If you want to do some more homework, my boy on YouTube called Brian Sutera, he's a medic, he's an MD, and he does some of the best fucking videos breaking down sports injuries and performance enhancing drugs, things of that nature. He looks at it from a pure scientific point of view, and he literally ruled out the fact that it could be an injured pec or a torn pec. He ruled out the fact that it could be what else did he rule? Yeah, he ruled out the fact that, you know, the fact that it's only on one side, right? So it's only the right side of his titty that's puffy, yeah, and not both sides. He doubts that it is a hormonal thing, because hormones run throughout your whole body. And if something like that was to happen naturally, it would happen on both fucking sides. But that's as far as he left it, because he knew best to hold his tongue, to not get his videos pulled or not have no lawsuits. Your boy here doesn't have none of that shit, bro. I'm calling
well, you know, we don't want to get stopped. We don't want to get stopped before we started.
I hear you, bro. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. Something doesn't add up, and it's definitely suspicious. And for all that jazz he was talking about Costa being on PEDs, look who's got the puffy right tit now, that, you know, doesn't add up. So that's my thoughts on that, bro.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tooth. There you have it, people. The medic is in the building. As industrial as his language is, we all know that he got his point across and dropped some very, very deep and good knowledge that some of you probably wouldn't know about. See, listen, we've got everything covered on this show. It's not just the man them having a chat. We get into everything, facts, details, cover everything, mate. We got all corners covered.
Drop some comments, drop some likes.
Drop some comments on that. Indeed. Next up, we are going to talk about the co-main event, and we'll be doing that shortly. Yes, people, we are back talking about the co-main event of UFC 253. It was Reyes versus Yan. Yan got the win, TKO. I think that was the second round as well. Was it the third? It was the second round, TKO as well. Underdog won that one. No one. I think the real UFC heads probably knew that Yan had a good chance of winning, but overall Reyes was seen as the favorite purely because he went the distance with John Jones. I said before, I don't think John Jones was motivated at all, but it was another deconstruction by Yan on Reyes. To talk to me, what did you think about the fight? And I think you expected this because Yan is your boy.
Yeah, man. So for the people that don't know, bruv, I spent 7 years in Poland, bruv. So dzień dobry. Do you know what I mean? Kurwa ja pierdolę, so gówno, bruv. Yeah, man. Polish pride came through. Polish power came through. As you said, the people that are in tune or, you know, like follow it a little bit more deeply were very capable, very aware of what Yan was capable of, bruv. Dude is, he's got that vicious knockout power. He's done it in the past. He knocked out a Rock Cold. He knocked out someone else as well, out cold as well. And then he had a good fight with Jacare Sosa as well, which he, I think, you know, completely battered him. And Jacare is again, no, actually, it might have been. I might need to fact check that. But anyway, moving on. We know what Yan is capable of, bruv. He's again very powerful fighter, capable everywhere, and I'm happy for him, man. He's been one of these guys that he's fought long and hard to get to the position he was, to get a shot in the first place. Many times was overlooked. He was always sitting in that kind of top 5.
It was Corey Anderson that he knocked out.
Yes, that's who it was. Corey Anderson knocked him out cold. Then he knocked out Luke Rockhold cold. And the reason why I think a lot of people, general people, and even some UFC heads thought that Dominic Reyes was a favorite, and rightly so, was because, as you said, his stock went sky high when he fought John Jones, especially those first 2 rounds. No one can deny that Reyes didn't win those 2 rounds.
Of course.
And, furthermore, Reyes was was like a prodigy in that division. He was looked at as the heir to John Jones. He fights similar to John Jones. He's good everywhere. He's got more tools in his toolbox. He's got more weapons in his arsenal than Jan does. But my boy Zimzilla, I got to shout him out, bruv. He said this, man. He said, look, at the press conference, at the weigh-in, Dominic Reyes was looking past Jan Blachowicz, bruv. He was just looking past him. And that's a dangerous thing to do against a guy that is very capable. And yeah, man, those body kicks shut him down. You saw the bruises, you saw the welts on his ribs. They look nasty. They look similar to the welts and the bruises and the cuts that were on Costa's legs.
Yeah.
So you could tell they did damage. And then he caught him. You knew that punch was gonna come, and if it landed, you knew it was gonna do damage, and it did. It broke Reyes' nose, and he just swarmed him after that. And it is what it is. Like, Jan deserves to be the champ. And I don't think he's going to have a long-lasting reign, particularly. But it's like one of those Michael Bisping things. It's like a Cinderella story. You know, you became champ, and good on you, man. It's a feel-good story.
It is indeed. I mean, his record now is 27-8. Yeah. He went through a few losses in the UFC. Yeah. Never got his opportunity until now. Yeah. And you have to say he's grabbed it with both hands, and now he's celebrating the fact that he is the champ. What went wrong for Reyes? What happened? What did he not do, which cost him the fight?
I think Reyes, first of all, as my boy Zimzilla said, and I'm going to quote him, he just looked past Jan. He just looked past him. So in his head, I think he was riding off the wave that he had from the Jones fight, thinking he was entitled and thinking obviously he won the fight. And mentally, I don't think he had prepared properly for someone like Blachowicz. And quite frankly, I thought, if we're gonna, I can only assume here, I think Reyes must have thought that Blachowicz was just going to look for that one punch the whole night, and that's all he had to evade. But then when Blachowicz started kicking his body, do you know what I mean? Getting some barbecue sauce on those ribs, you get me? And then this is the thing about fighting people don't understand. There's a lot of muscle memory involved. It's similar with Povetkin and Dillian White. You know, Povetkin kept throwing that hook. Can't remember if it was a left or a right hook, but whatever it was, he threw that hook 22 times. People might, you know, to the casual fan, people might think, oh, he's just looking for that one punch. He's looking for that one punch. But to elite level fighters, that's what we call setting someone up. Do you know what I mean? So you keep aiming there just to lower their guard elsewhere, so you can fucking hit them. This is what I mean. This is a game of chess. You get what I mean? So that's what I think Blachowicz done. He kept overwhelming Dominic Reyes to the body to make Reyes protect that side of his body and forget about the power that Jan possesses if he touches him on the chin. He came out and touched him on the chin. That was it.
That was it.
You know
that was all she wrote. And obviously Dominic Reyes now goes back down in the pecking order. I think, me personally, I think Dominic Reyes, I don't think there was a game plan. It just looked like he just went in there and didn't know what he was doing. Because me personally, I think the number one thing is that when you're the taller and rangier fighter, you keep it at length. I mean, and try and use as much of your reach as you can to frustrate and catch him. Because at the end of the day, if you keep fighting at length, I know it's UFC, it's a bit different to boxing, but my whole thing is if you keep fighting at length, eventually that person's going to keep getting frustrated and then do something silly so that you can counteract what they're trying to do. But I think Dominic Reyes as you said, I think the kick to the ribs surprised him and it hurt him. And then he was like, well, what do I do now, sort of thing. And then he just looked like there was no ideas, there was no clue.
And you have to bear in mind, Blachowicz, just for the people watching that don't know a lot about Blachowicz, and rightly so, because, you know, he's not really been a main event guy. He's not really got a lot of shine. He's not known for kicking. He's not known for kicking. Like, he's barely throws kicks. Do you know what I mean? And I've watched this guy from his debut, all right? And I was living in Poland at the time when he made his debut, and I was living in Poznan. And I remember when he made his debut, you know, when they're introducing the fighters, you know, how much they weigh, how tall they are, their record, then it says hometown. And it was Poznan, which is where I was from. So he immediately became my boy. So I've been watching this guy from maybe 2013 or 14, whenever he made his debut, bruv. Can't remember him throwing a single kick, bruv, quite frankly, bruv. Do you know what I mean? And this is my boy. Do you know what I mean? You know how it is with me, bruv. I'll go into these fights deep. Bruv, I can't remember him throwing a kick at all, bruv.
So that means it was a complete like surprise then. So which is why then we shouldn't be surprised that Dominic Reyes was surprised about the kicks.
Yeah, exactly, bro. That's what I mean. This is what I mean. It's a game of chess. It's exactly what I was referring to earlier with the Povetkin analogy. Like, he kept throwing that hook 22 times just to make Dillian White's brain think that's what's coming next. So the next time that opening was ready, whoop, uppercut. And it's the same thing here. He peppered those ribs. Do you know what I mean? He put that jerk seasoning on there, bro. He put that barbecue sauce on them ribs, bro. You get me? And next thing you know, bro, nose is shattered. Bro. Shattered, bro.
I hear that.
Great game plan and all the best to him, bro. Like,
who's next in the light heavyweight division?
I forgot who it was. Who did he call out?
We know who he called out, but who's actually next?
No, it's not Jones. He called out someone that actually reasonable. I can't remember who it was now, bro. That is a good point. But he called out who did he call out, bro? And it was a really humble call out as well. Might have to, you know what? Might have to pause the video, bro. I might have to quickly.
There's a fight that's supposed to be happening actually. Was it Thiago Santos that you called out to avenge his loss?
Yes.
But Santos is fighting Glover, no?
Yeah. So
I think that's what's on the undercard of Khabib and Gaethje.
Yeah, I think it might be, bruv. Like, I might need to look at the whole Fight Island cards again, bruv, because that's definitely Santos is making his comeback. You nailed it, bruv. I can't believe I missed that one. But yeah, if Santos beats Glover, then, you know, he called out Santos simply because they fought previously and Jan lost that fight. But at the same time, if Glover wins, he definitely deserves his shot as well, bruv. So it's one of the two. That fight is definitely for number one, you know, contender.
Oh yeah,
100%.
So,
yeah, I mean, both fights are good for Jan because, you know what I mean? They're both fights that he could win. He could beat Glover and he could beat Santos. The Santos fight was really close as well. I think it was a decision, if I'm not mistaken. At no point did I think Blachowicz was outclassed or out of his depth in that fight either. So I'm just having a quick look and seeing his record and seeing if how that fight.
No, it was a TKO.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was round 3. Yeah. I've just pulled up, you know, his record now. But still, in that fight, like, it wasn't. You know, sometimes you get TKO because it's the risk you take in a fight. And it could be a close fight, and then, you know, it just comes down to that moment in the fight where someone finds an opening to finish you with a flurry or whatever it is. Again, I have to go back and watch it, but I remember watching that fight and thinking, they were on the same level. Do you know what I mean? This wasn't like a Dominic Reyes kind of situation where he just got completely blown out of the water, or other fights you might have seen in the past where, you know, the TKO or the KO is just like Israel Adesanya Costa. It was just like one-sided.
Yeah.
It wasn't this fight that they had. If my memory serves me correctly, it wasn't that one-sided. And so, quite frankly, now again, I'm looking at my man's record in the UFC. Yeah. None of his fights were one-sided losses, bro. He lost to Jimmy Manuwa. who's our boy, London boy.
Yeah.
You know, by decision. He lost to Corey Anderson the first time by decision, lost to Gustafsson by decision, lost to Patrick Cummins by decision, and then he lost to Thiago Santos by TKO punches. But again, I remember in that fight, he was doing pretty well. But yeah, you man might need to go and watch this and comment in the section below, tell me if I'm wrong, and I know I'm not wrong. I know I'm not
100%.
wrong. Yeah.
Just to wrap up on Jan and the whole UFC 253. We know that Jan, I mean, everyone's just calling the GOAT's name.
Yeah.
Saying, John Jones, come back, where you at?
Yeah.
We know Jones has gone up to heavyweight. Again, is it another one of those where it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think John Jones will be motivated for it. Doesn't make sense to him. Maybe if I mean, fingers crossed it doesn't, because as everyone knows, Joe's my boy. If it doesn't work out at heavyweight and Jan still has the belt, maybe. But at this moment in time, we know John Jones is focused on the heavyweight and cleaning up that, because he needs to cement his legacy. But
yeah, it's one of those parallel universe things, bruv.
Mm-hmm.
So,
if it were to happen, what would you expect with a Jan versus Bones fight?
Yeah, it's one of those parallel universe things. You nailed it on the head, bruv. Like, at the moment, Jones is at heavyweight, or he's not even confirmed being at heavyweight, but the plan is to get him up there. From the pictures we see, he looks massive, and it's more than certain that he's going to be fighting at heavyweights at some point soon. The thing is, with the Jan and John Jones kind of matchup, I think after Jan had beaten Luke Rockhold, no, after Jan had beaten Corey Anderson. So after the loss to Thiago Santos, he fought Luke Rockhold, KO'd him. He fought Jacare Sosa and beat him, even though it was a split decision. But I think, you know, he won 3 clear rounds in that fight. And then he beat Corey Anderson by KO. Yeah. Exactly. So he was on a run, and there was no question at that point, because Jones had already beaten Dominic Reyes, so he had run out of contenders. So I think even Jones, if I'm not mistaken, Jones had said on Twitter, like, not called him, you could say it's a call out, but again, it was one of those respectful ones where it's like, I think the next challenger should be Jan Blachowicz. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? And Jan, obviously being Jan, the veteran that he is, and he knows his time in the UFC is dwindling down. He's been there for a long time. He's a veteran, and he's not going to get too many chances. So the fact that the GOAT has mentioned his name, is going to jump on that opportunity with both hands and, you know, run with it. So there was always that possibility of that fight happening. But again, it just didn't interest anyone, simply because Jones had cleared out the division. He was calling out Ngannou. The Stipe DC fight was happening at the time, and if DC had won, Jones could go for the trilogy fight at heavyweight. Like, there was all of that kind of shit. So Jan was just like one of those plan F. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, it's true. It's true.
It's like, exactly. It was like a plan F. Like, if all of those options failed, then we throw Jan in there with Jones. And of course, even the Reyes rematch was more prioritized than the Jan fight. So, yeah, it's still a far cry. It's still a far cry. But I do know his performance definitely turned heads, because John Jones went on Twitter after the fight and said, you know what, I might need to come down to light heavyweight to get my belt back. So as far as, I still think it's a plan F, I still think it's a far cry, and I still think there's better options, more intriguing options, more exciting options for John Jones on the table. But I'm not pissed off with the way things are looking at the moment. I do like the fact that Santos and Glover are fighting for number 1, and I do think whoever wins that fight will have a nice matchup with Jan, whether it's a rematch with Santos or whether it's a title fight with Glover. Do you know what I mean? Both of them I'll take. I like those fights. And it kind of makes the light heavyweight division a little bit more interesting. What will happen now that John Jones has left the division? Will the title keep switching hands like hot potato, like it did when who was it? there was a division where the title just kept switching hands. I think it was after Ronda Rousey lost that happened. Yeah, so after Ronda Rousey lost, Holly Holm got the title, then Misha Tate got the
Misha
title.
Tate, then Amanda Nunes.
Amanda Nunes has now kept it. And then there was another weight class as well. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was welterweight as well. Like after, was it? No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't welterweight.
No, it wasn't. But there's another title. There's another division where it just kept switching hands. Oh, fuck, what was it?
Not featherweight.
No, because featherweight, Max Holloway dominated that for a while, and then Volkanovski took it. So,
wasn't it the one? What's his name, bro?
DJ.
Nah, the one above him.
Oh yeah, the one with not Sahuda.
Is it Bantam?
Bantamweight, yeah. So who was TJ? Yeah, it might have even been bantamweight where
because TJ beat my man, innit? And then
Cody Garber.
Yeah.
So there was one of it. Fuck me. Listen, you guys in the comment section below, for all you hardcore MMA fans, if you know the answer to this question, I will send you a couple discounts. There we go. Challenge. What division did the title switch hands numerous times on a fight by fight basis? I can't remember what it is. If you remember what it is, leave a comment in the section below and I will send you a discount for whatever you want. Fucking Nike, Adidas, Reebok, whatever. Fucking Ford. If you want to buy a fucking Ford car, I'll send you a discount for that as well. So there you go.
There we go. See, even freebies on the show. Listen, as I said, like and subscribe on the channel. We've got way more content coming, especially for UFC heads. We've got Khabib and Gaethje coming up. We got Bones when he moves up to heavyweight. We've got so much more content when it comes to UFC. As I said, we still got the boxing. We got White Povetkin too. We got AJ's fight. We've got Fury and Wilder whenever that is, and that's going to be electric as well.
Yeah, Spence and Garcia as well.
Exactly. Listen, there's so much coming up. We've got the NBA finals coming up, which we will have for you on Saturday.
Yeah.
Football season's going on throughout as well. I mean, listen, we're going to have content for days and days and days. So make sure you like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell an aunt, tell a goat, tell a dog, tell their sister that we are going on. You can see the level of content. You can see the level of detail. And as I said, we've got our guys that have specialities in various subjects. We will be getting more people coming on as well. We're going to be looking to expand. So, but I want to say thank you to my UFC connoisseur, the truth. The truth got me talking. You know what it is? It's because you mentioned because you've been calling out the truth the whole time throughout this thing.
No, it's cool, bro. I know our names just like are so similar, bro. Dude, the truth. Sometimes,
bro, I can't disrespect you like that.
Nah, it's calm, bro.
You are a UFC
know what it
guru.
is, yeah? You know how committed we are to the cause, bro. That it's like late night after a day work on a fucking weekday, and we're still going at it, bro. So you know what,
bro.
Good, bro. But listen to the truth. If you're listening, bro, truth, bro, you're lucky you weren't on this today, bro. That's what I could say.
Thank you very much to my guy Tooth. It's been a pleasure
as always, bro.
Always for the UFC, bro. Thank you very much for everyone watching. Have a good one. We'll be back on the weekend. Peace.